welcome back to another edition of the NoStoppingKev Show. It's your boy, as always, Kevin Beeford. And I'm here with...
Kevin Beeford.
What's up?
What's up?
You chilling?
Yeah.
So I'm talking about, y'all, this episode 17. We back at it again. And I'm feeling good. How you feeling, sir?
I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling good.
You good?
Could be better.
Could be better?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a long week, but, you know, it's always good whenever I get up in the studio and record another podcast episode.
Sound good to me. Ready to go.
Yeah, and, you know, thank you to everyone out there listening. I feel a little naked. I don't have my headphones today, so I feel a little off. You know, I'm like Superman without his cape, but at the end of the day, I'm still Superman. Like that?
I love it.
But yeah, thank y'all for listening. As always, I just ask if you can share with a friend or two, just because we're trying to, you know, grow. But today we got a great topic, I think, in my opinion. But before we get to that, I just want to share, I've been watching WNBA basketball the last couple weeks. They're in their playoffs. I've been watching a lot of the Mystics Aces series. I like it. Deladon she's like made history. She's in the 50-40-90 club. 50% shooting from the floor, 40% from three, and 90% from down 90% from the free throw line. Excuse me.
That's you?
No, that's Elena Deladon.
Oh, okay.
Washington Mystics, also 2019 WNBA MVP. It's her second time winning the MVP of the league award. So shout out to her. Also one of Devin's teammates from high school, Ariel Powers, plays on the Mystics. Oh, right. So it's always fun watching her just because, like, she actually can play.
She can play?
She can play.
She played with Devin?
Yeah.
Devin played with her, right?
Yeah, you can say it. You can put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I get upset because people don't appreciate WNBA basketball or women's basketball in general. Kind of bugs me.
I mean, like, I love to see women play for real. I haven't been really watching the games, you know, but watching some of the women do the things that the men do is like, you know, it's good, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to just ask to make sure you're speaking into that mic, sir.
Yes, I am. I can hear myself, I think.
Yeah, but no, because, you know, I think I find it frustrating because, you know, I'll ask someone about the WNBA or something. They're like, oh, I'm not watching that. Like, it's corny or it's not exciting or it's not entertaining. Like, they're not athletic. And I'm just like, first of all, they are athletic.
That's because they don't watch it.
Yeah, exactly. And it all goes back to just being ignorant. You know, it's like, they're like, oh, well, you know, they want to make jokes about how they don't dunk on a fast break. It's just a little finger roll finish. But then when you actually sit back and think about it, how many dunks are there really in an NBA game? Like, for the most part, you get the little putback ones. You might get a breakaway. But the exciting dunks that we think of, they don't happen often.
No, you know what? Dunks is so easy now. So, you know, it's like everybody in the NBA practically dunk. So, you know, unless you do something fantastic or do something, but if you get a breakaway, how fantastic you really going to do? How much show time you going to put? You got guys that's 7 foot, they don't even really got to jump to dunk it. Yeah. Now, when you see a little person dunk, then that makes it more exciting.
You want to know what else I think is interesting? So, you have men that will say the WNBA isn't interesting, right? But when you take a step back and think about it, their level of basketball, or, you know, the basketball that they played or have been exposed to, is closer to that of the WNBA, in my opinion, than the NBA, right? NBA, you got guys that are super athletic. Like, let's just get rid of skill for a second. Super athletic, right? So if you had to take me and all my friends, our athleticism is going to be more on the level of the women than the men, right? Because we don't have 44-inch verticals. Like, we don't have that in our game. So we're really playing below the rim. You got a couple guys that might can rim graze. WNBA has the same thing, believe it or not. They got a couple girls that can get up there and dunk, and there's even girls in high school now that they got the little 2K rim grazer package. But what I love about the WNBA is those girls have so much skill. Like, when you're watching the game to really learn and just appreciate the beauty of basketball and what they can do, it's all there. You know, they don't have the athleticism to compensate for lack of skill in different areas. So when you watch it, it's almost more pure. So if you're out there, don't call yourself a basketball purist if you don't watch women's basketball. Bottom line.
Well, like I say, just seeing some of them girls really can do some of the fact they got the tricks, they got everything. Like I mean, like when you could see them put the ball through their legs, shake some people, and like for real, they may know more. And like when you were talking about skill set, they know more about the basketball or playing than some of the people that call themselves playing basketball or going to schoolyard and play basketball.
Definitely.
Because I remember when we were coming up, it was it was a couple girls like Dawn and them used to play with us.
Dawn Stelly.
In the Sunny Hill League.
And what Norman do?
Huh?
And what Norman do?
Oh, Norman treat him just like a man. He don't cut no break on him.
That's what you should do.
And women, I mean, like they could play. They could play with men.
When I was in college, Ian?
Yeah.
So he has 2 daughters, and one of his daughters were playing with us at the rec one afternoon, and she was matched up with me, right? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna take it easy or anything like that. But she made me bring it, cause like she was bothering me up, playing me super. It was very physical, and she probably was stronger than me too. I'm not even gonna lie. Like she bodied me up a few times. I was like, oh, I might have gone down to the ground, like elbowing me in my chest. I'm like, girl, I don't even got no chest. Like, why you hitting me like that? Yeah. But it's just what I find with guys is they either because they don't watch it, they don't realize how talented these women are. And when I was playing JV, I remember after one of our games, one time one of my teammates were like, we could beat a WNBA team. And I was like, shut the F up. Cause
one of your players?
No, one of my teammates when I was in college.
Oh, okay.
So we could beat a WNBA team. I was like, listen, I don't think you realize, you must not have been exposed to girls that can actually hoop. Right? And so another one of my boys had to tell him, like, yeah, it's not going to be as easy as you think it would be to beat them. We probably might can sneak one out, but it's not going to be a cakewalk. Those girls are some of the best women players in the world.
That's what I'm getting ready to say. And they structured. They probably more structured than, like, even when you were playing. You got structure, but these girls are with structure.
They're in the gym every day working on their skill. Like
working, yeah.
You can't discount that. Like, they're in the gym every day just like an NBA guy is. And like they might not be as big, might not be as athletic as them, but they still got it. And that's something I wouldn't doubt at all. You
look at some players, and you look at some of the good players, and look at them. Some of them just have basic skills and things that they do well.
You just gotta be effective.
And that's all they do is do something well. Like I was talking to like Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman could dunk the ball. He could do all that. But his game was a basic game. He was a blue collar person. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of them is. But then you got them girls. You got some girls that can really shoot.
Yep.
You got, like you said, you got some girls that can really play down in the paint and
that
bang.
Are super fast.
Yeah.
Got all the tricks.
Yeah. Like
you said, and you got some girls that, quote unquote, play like a guy.
Man, I would let some of them guys get out there and try to guard some of them.
Right, guys, exactly. Exactly. I was like, we'll show you real quick. I wish I could have, had some WNBA players come in to like our next practice or something, just so they know. You know
what? It's funny. Like, when you talk about that, and I go back to the episode on Martin when Tommy and them played against the United States Olympic team. And how they killed them, you know what I mean? And Martin, they couldn't do nothing with them.
Yeah, because they're like, it baffles me how people can just discount them because they're women.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I'm like, they might not look super strong, but let one of them hit you with a little hand check or body you up. You can be like, yo, what is this like brick wall fire hydrant right here? Like, why can't I move her like that easily?
They go to the weight room.
Yeah.
They work out.
Yeah. It's insane. And that's not even what today's show is about, but that just came on my mind because I've been, I've even posted on Facebook about how I've been watching the WNBA, and it's been like my stress relief these last couple of days. Like, football's been on. I'm like, WNBA, let me watch that. Because it's just trying to learn the game. If you just want to see some simple basketball, that's the place to be. But, so thank y'all for listening to what I had to say about the WNBA. Go support the WNBA, y'all. Stop being stupid. We better than that. these women can ball. But on to today's topic. We'll save that for another day, because I can talk about that all day. But Dad, this is probably one of your, something that's critical to you. The element of not deceiving yourself or those around you and just being honest with who you are, what you can do, and with others that you have relationships with and, that you're just connected to in the day to day.
Yeah, when you talk about, I guess we talking about honesty, man. Like, I had to really learn to be honest. And like I said, like, I learned something about being honest when I got clean. But
What you mean got clean?
it goes when I got clean from using drugs. That was a part of really having to be clean. But you know what? It's all about being honest to yourself about everything. You got to be honest with you. And you got, you know what? I be around some people now because I learned this and I learned how to see this in other people. And and some people will tell themselves and justify why they doing something to make themselves believe that they doing right, that it's okay to do that. And it all goes back to that when I used to see that sign in your school.
What sign?
Excuses, about excuses.
What did it say?
Huh?
What did it say?
Excuses is a symptom of failure. So you not being true and honest to yourself, that's a symptom of a failure.
Mm.
And that's something that I learned. And like I said, it took me a while to put all this together. And today you see how much it is and how much people deceive themselves. I'm not going to say I'm 100% and not doing it, because I still can do it with myself. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I'm more open to it and willing to continue to try to get better with it. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to somebody, and that was one of the things that really made me really with this, because it's just was so hard how this person kept making itself, even though they doing wrong and really don't believe that they doing anything wrong and hurting. And see, like sometimes the thing is, it ain't always about hurting us. It's hurting people that love us, people that need us to be there for them. So how can we teach somebody something that we don't even have or we don't do ourselves? So, like a lot of that's what really got me about this topic.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, when you can be honest with yourself, I think it allows you to see the world more clearly, the things that's going on around you. Because if you can't see who you truly are, understand your true self, then how can you understand the person next to you or what's going on? How can you understand how things connect if you're not going to be honest with who you are, or else you'll just end up flip-flopping? And sometimes you're dishonest with yourself and you don't even realize it.
Right.
And so it's having a awareness, and it goes back to always being willing to self-assess. So if you're in a situation where you might feel one way in a given situation, but then you're talking to someone later on and you say something that kind of contradicts something. Now, it is possible it might be a caveat. Maybe in certain situations you won't want to do a certain thing that you would do otherwise. But it's just ask yourself, all right, why am I okay with this in situation A? But why do I feel different, or why would I do something different in situation B when it's essentially a very similar situation, right? What's the driving the difference? Does the difference make sense? Which one is the true version of me? Are both of them truly me? So I think it's, it kind of gets deep. It can kind of go into, your own little personal psychology, which can be interesting, but just always self-assessing, because if the more, I think, honest you become with yourself, the more comfortable you are with yourself. Because when you can analyze who you are, know your tendencies, understand what triggers you have, then I think that's what's ultimately going to allow you to grow. Because sometimes you got to see the bigger picture, and you might fight it.
Oh yeah, definitely fight. I've been fighting stuff all my life, man.
Yeah, it never ends. It's always something else.
And it's something that I gotta work. I gotta work on now, and every day. I mean, it's still in my life. I still have to do this, because like some they talk about like cracks or opening doors. See, sometimes if I trick myself and open them doors, then I'm slowly slipping back to the
Yeah.
other way. So like I gotta stay that way, and and the thing about it, I gotta stay away from people that would co-sign my stuff, because like that if I'm starting to believe it and I got somebody else to believe it or agree with me that just want to agree with me for whatever reason, then I'm still not hurting myself. I need people that are going to hold me accountable. I need people that are going to make sure I am doing something right. Because maybe I don't see me deceiving myself. Maybe I don't see me not being honest with myself. But somebody else could say, Kevin, you're not being honest. Or, Kevin, you're doing something. And help me see that. And that's what I need. And like I see it around, and like some people get mad when I talk to them, because I'm not going to let you do that to yourself if I think it's right. And sometimes they don't see it. But even in that case, it's helping me see things and keeping me, to where I need to be at.
Yeah, because, like if you're holding people to a certain standard, you got to at least hold yourself to that same standard.
Yeah, like you. You do me. You do me,
I'll take it easy on you, right?
Huh?
I'll take it easy on you, right?
Oh, no, you don't take it easy on me. I tell everybody, no, you don't take it easy on me. I'm in a weekend here, you just laid me out or did whatever you did. But, you was right. If I could give it to you, I got to be able to take it too.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about helping each other. But, when I was thinking about this topic in places where I might have deceived myself, I thought about when I was coaching. Because I had, kind of got your key guys, some of your guys that's more of a leader on a team. And, this particular player, he's like my point guard. He's like my little protege, right?
Right.
But he still has some of those characteristics that I didn't necessarily approve of. Like, I know he could kind of play around, not always be fully engaged or, cut corners here and there. I know he struggled with accountability and leadership at times. Although he was one of our best leaders, he still has some weaknesses to the point where sometimes he would blend in and kind of go with the crowd instead of doing his job as the point guard and really making sure order was maintained. Now you look at a lot of teams, especially today, your point guard oftentimes is, one, he's the coach on the floor.
Right.
Two, you expect him to be an extension of the coach beyond basketball, so to speak. So if you're in practice, you're looking for someone to help get things in order, make sure guys are doing what they're supposed to do. You're going to look at the guy that's the leader on the floor because you expect him to be the leader now, too. That's just something that comes with that position. Right? And, it's a period of time he didn't understand that. Like while you're looking at me, I'm like, you don't realize the power that you have, right? And, there were times where, make this come full circle. There were times where I would see him kind of not being that leader that I know he was. And some things you kind of let slide, right? Like, oh, he's not running as hard as he can right now. I don't know what he might be going through today. So I'm going to just, I know he'll be fine tomorrow or, in the next year or something. He'll bounce back. I'll say something to him instead of just checking it right then and there. But what happens is you kind of let that thing fester instead of killing it, right?
Right.
And so eventually it's going to explode somehow. And it came probably late in the senior year where, it was a bit of a mental toughness practice, right?
Yeah.
And Coach Jeff used to always give kids nicknames, right? Like we had our one dude. His brother actually was a year under me when I played in high school, and so Dion would come in to our practices every now and then when he's 8 years old, and then I got to coach this kid when he was 16, 17, 18, right? So he was like Captain America because no matter what, he was like a leader, right? So he was Captain America. We had a funny guy. His name was Tin Man because he just moved so stiff and robotically. But everybody had something. And this kid, our guard, he was our catalyst. Point guard, he would get us going. We liked having him out on the floor even though he had certain weaknesses in his game. Like he wasn't the best scorer or finisher. but he was super fast, could get to any spot, which as a point guard, you love. IQ was there. He would play defense. He would really dictate the pace of the game, right? And so he was our catalyst. But one of his challenges were, like I said before, not always being the leader and, not always holding himself accountable. And so then, on mental toughness day, what's a coach's job on a mental toughness day? Push you mentally, right? Kind of challenge you, help you grow. And, he kind of wanted to challenge me on that day for some reason. And so I let him know perfectly clear. I cut no slack that day. It was like, I thought you were the catalyst. And then I told him how he's only the catalyst or leader when it's convenient to do so. When things really start to hit the fan, whether it's in games, practice, off the court, he kind of checks out and doesn't want to lead anymore. That's when they need you the most. Especially when things hit the fan, like in a game. When we're down, you can't quit. Especially when so many people look up to you. And so there were points where, Devin would tell me, because she would come to some of our practices, she would be like, why you let him do that? And I'd be like, I ain't let him do nothing. He fine, kind of brush it off and think it wasn't much. But now in hindsight, I can say I kind of deceived myself a little bit. I thought it was going to be all right. I tricked myself into thinking it was going to be all right, it wasn't anything major. But I think deep down I knew, I need to do something about that. And then, when you deceive yourself, you can try to justify it, right? It's well, I'm dealing with these 7 kids over here. They're having a bad day at practice. He's one of our leaders. I know he's one of our better guys. He'll bounce back, right? So you justify not addressing the bad behavior that you want to challenge, and so he can grow and break out of that. Right. You justify that with saying, you make an excuse. I had to deal with these guys, so I couldn't give that all my attention. It's sacrifices. You might have to exert a little bit more energy, be a little bit more tired when you get home, but it's for the greater good. So that's just somewhere I learned from it. So I'm now going forward when I'm coaching, go back to old school Coach Kev.
Well, when you see a player lacking, you still got to be even if he like that. Because, I remember Coach Ritten, I remember him. And I could be, I could have such a good game. I mean, I have, a game that everybody will say was good. And I'll go, what Coach Ritten looking at, man? Everybody telling me this. I'm thinking this. But you know what? He always pointed out the things that I was doing wrong. I could just think about some people in life. I used to have a guy because my speech wasn't good or I didn't say words correctly. This guy would always correct me. But they were the guys that was just being honest with me and showing me and trying to teach me, not to hurt me, not to make fun of me. And once I got that, and I was able to take that. And I know the people that going to really help me and who's not going to help me.
Mm-hmm. You build up that trust.
Yeah.
Because you understand the intention behind it, so it's easier for you to kind of accept it. Which is with a lot of things. That's why you got to be honest, keep it 100. It's I share all the time, with my players, for a lot of them, it's the first time they're coming into an environment where they'll be held accountable, right? So with change comes a bit of an adjustment. Yeah. And so now, I try to hold them accountable and I get pushback. And, when I keep pushing a guy because I see the potential, they think, oh, it's like that Love and Basketball. See, why you ride me, coach? I see potential. I want you to be better. You don't see it right now, but I know it's there. And then I find all I got to do is have that conversation one time. Hey, this is what I see for you. I'm getting on you when you're doing this because to you it might seem small, but let me explain to you how this is going to translate to, one, from practice to games, then from the court to outside the court to the classroom to life to at home. Then once they start understanding that, it's oh wait, Coach Kev might actually be on to something here. And sometimes it does take having that conversation multiple times, but it builds that trust up. They get to see where I'm coming from with it.
Sometimes it's about planting a seed,
mm-hmm.
and then you gotta water it, and you might have to water it again. You gotta water it again. So you gotta stay at it, and hopefully they may start seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe sometimes they don't want to admit that they see it, but then their actions might show that they starting, and that's when you really tell. Because some people rebel when you tell them some things or you try to help them, because they think that they know it, because like I said, like even me, I might think I know something, so I'm just gonna say like that, and just keep on going.
One ear and out the other.
Yeah, that's one thing is. No, but you know what? That's the smart people. Let it go in one ear, out the other ear. The people that don't even let it go in is the ones that's trouble, that don't want to hear it or don't want to buy. At least if it go in one ear, it got to go through. So maybe something might fall off, a little piece might fall off, and it go out the other ear. So they getting a little bit, getting a little bit of it.
Yeah, that's probably, in terms of, I'm thinking about that in terms of me coaching. Those are probably when, the guy messing up and everybody's getting on the line, but you're explaining why we're getting on the line, and so he's hearing it. He's not really going to fully process it right now because he's upset. But then later on, when you go take that time out, pull him off to the side and talk to him, that's when
or when some of the
see
other
that
players
seed
say,
germinate.
man, you better straighten up, man, because you
I ain't gonna keep running. I ain't gonna keep running.
Yeah, I
used to be the worst.
Yeah.
Remember, I used to have to do that to certain guys in practice. Be like, yo, listen, next time we got to get down there and do this punishment exercise. Don't be up there talking back because it's adding seconds. We don't got time like that.
Yep.
Not everybody sees that, and it's part of being a leader.
You know what? It's funny when you say that. You know what? I never mind doing the sprints and all like that, especially when somebody messed up or something like that. But that was a part of practice. That's a part of that you had to go with. But I mean, I wasn't out there trying to make anybody run because I don't want nobody saying, "Yo, you better stop."
Yeah, everybody looking at you.
Yeah. I don't want to be the cause of that.
I was just messing with you because I know you was looking at me.
You could tell where I was looking at.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can feel it.
Okay,
that's genetics. That thing going on.
Now, see, that one was over your head. See, that's a joke that I always tell people because people always say, "Don't look him in the eyes," and I still hear that to the day. Where people used to say, "Man, don't look you in the eye. You better not look him in the eye."
Yeah, people would be talking to me about like you playing back in the day. They'd be like, "Yeah, because he had the eyes like," or you got some people that be like, "Yeah, he is cross-eyed." I'm like, whoa. He's not he's not cross-eyed now. Like, chill out, relax.
Hey, if that used to get me by, man, I use it.
Yeah, it's not gonna help you against me though. But
that's because I probably ain't going by. You know what I'm gonna do with you?
Fold.
Nah, take you to spots.
That's fine.
Like, how you put the circles on the floor and where you gonna shoot from? That's get to the spot.
All right, so back to the topic of being honest, because you're not being honest right now.
That's honest? Me getting you to my spots?
Can we insert the cricket noises here?
I'm gonna get to my spots, unless you're gonna push me and foul me and everything else.
All right, let's get back to the topic of being honest, because again, you're getting away from it. All right.
Yeah, we know
but
you're
no.
joking.
But yeah, so I just think it's important to keep it 100 or keep it 100, however you want to say it, just because it allows you to, like we said earlier, identify areas for improvement. So keep that in mind. I encourage everybody, when you're done listening to this episode, just take maybe 5 minutes, or next time you're driving in the car alone, turn the radio off and just self-assess. Helps. Be honest. Think about where people might be telling you, "Hey, I don't like when you do this," or you might be doing something and it's not giving you that, it's not resulting in the way that you want it to. You got not getting the reactions that you're expecting. Do some self-assessment. See what's going on. Another reason I think it's important to be honest is because it lessens the chances of you, damaging relationships. And not because you're necessarily directly lying to people, but when you have these false perceptions of reality, it might cause you to behave a certain way and do things that probably aren't in your best interest, which indirectly ends up impacting other people.
Yeah, I agree with that like 100% because, like I said, like a lot of time we hurt other people by our thinking or our way of doing things, and I think that like not being honest can do that because now like it ain't, if you can say I'm honest and I'm doing all this, but when your actions start showing, and that's why I always say actions is important because it speaks louder than words sometimes. So even when you doing that, now you showing somebody else some way to do wrong or not be honest with their self. Because they look up to you and look at see what you doing. Now it's okay. So you telling a person it's okay to do that.
I think, you just said something else that's important in that, you can it can go one or two ways. Either you can show someone the wrong way or you can show them the right way, right?
Right.
So I would much rather try to be a guiding light to people. So, one, be honest with yourself so that you can do that authentically. But also, it's important to be honest with other people. Like you said earlier, when you're messing up, check it immediately if you can. Because you don't want it to grow and grow. And, the more we lie to ourselves, the closer we get to making it somewhat of a reality for ourselves mentally. So if you can challenge someone to break them out of something or help them see that what they're doing isn't necessarily the best thing, or how they're seeing it or justifying it doesn't always add up, or that justification is just more of an excuse, then ultimately you might can help them out a little bit.
But when we talk about that, when when you tell yourself something or believe something and you justify it to make you think that you're doing right and it causing you pain, you really need to look at that.
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
And that's what like I talk about, and that's what I was saying like too, that some people, and like I even did it too. I did it too to make me think that for some reason I could do this, but then it hurts. And then and I sometimes I like to relate back to maybe my drug addiction, because you know what, a lot of times I tricked myself into doing that one drug that one time, or I lied myself. Now who do I affect when I don't come around you or Brianna? So I'm hurting. I'm still hurting y'all. I'm believing, but when do I see that I'm doing this, or I'm justifying something that causing me pain and causing other people pain?
How do you trick yourself into doing it?
Huh?
Like with
See, like you know what? See, like you talked about something earlier. See, you talked about some triggers. See, I don't believe in triggers. I believe in excuses. Now, I'm not going to say it ain't a trigger, but I believe that's just an excuse for me to do what I want to do. And like that's one thing. And like sometimes I went over it with counselors and talked to them about it. But to me, I mean, it might not be to somebody else. But I remember people used to say, like when we used to get high back in the day, we used to do matches and stuff like that too, right? And people would say, man, I hate matches, man. Because, and when I was in meetings, one time a dude said to me, he said, what did a match ever do to you? That match ain't do nothing.
like a match the light, something?
Yeah, like, when we used to smoke and stuff like that. But, like that match ain't do that. I had to use that match.
The match didn't jump out of the book and strike itself on the back.
Right. And I'm not going to say for people, things that don't trigger them. I'm saying for me, I don't believe in triggers, because that's the only thing it do is give me the excuse to do what I want to do, or something like that. Or like I could hear a certain song and I want to go get high. No, that song ain't make me want to go get high. I want to go get high already. I ain't got to hear that song, because if I don't hear that song, I'm gonna hear I might see something else that makes me want to go get high. But the bottom line is I want to get high. So to me, and that's why I said to me, and when I got better than triggered, you know what? When I got better, believing what I believe, I don't have that excuse to go get high. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that I could see that they're gonna make me go get high now.
Yeah, I think I was gonna push back on you, but I think we pretty much agree that triggers are real, but I think it goes into being aware of what your triggers are And when you feel triggered, the ability to call that quick 30-second timeout and assess what's going on, and then not making a decision based off of emotion, because oftentimes that's what happens when we're triggered, right? You get overcome with emotion, and then you take some sort of action.
Right.
So when we feel triggered, that's when it's probably most important to try to remove emotion or to bring yourself down so that you can think rationally and figure out what's what. Because, like, let's take your example. It's like if I'm hearing a song and, now I'm gonna go get high because this is my get high song. It's like, wait, why is this my get high song? Am I still trying to be the same me that used to love this song and then go get high? Or am I trying to be a new me that no matter what song is playing, I'm not getting high?
Well, for me, no matter what, I say, I can't get high. And like, I mean, in other areas with other triggers, it's always going to be triggered. But what do I really want to do? Do I want to do this or I don't want to do it? So like I said, something could come up and make me think about it. Like I'm a think. You know what? Whether that come up or not, I might be thinking about it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm triggered to think.
You're just looking for that excuse at that point, then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I use so many excuses, but once I found out, everything was a trigger for me. Everything. If you said something to me and I ain't like what you said to me, that's a trigger. Because the bottom line, what I realize is this is what I want to do. So I want any excuse, any trigger, or any excuse to do what I want to do.
See, now I'm pushing back on you. I'm saying triggers and excuses are different.
Well, we could say they different, but I use, like what I'm saying, you could say a trigger. You could push back. You could say I'm triggered to want to do this. And that's why I said for me. And that's why I always go back and say for me. Like you saying, like a lot of people say triggers is, but you know what? I got past triggers. Because like I really realized that, you know what? I really wanted to do this. And I'm using getting high, for example. Because like that's the most thing that I did and the most things that I made excuses for. Like one time I heard two people talking about me. Oh, I was supposed to get high tonight, but I really wanted to get high now. So I went and got high now. And see, them things, when I started looking at them things, just before I even really went to recovery or I did anything. And like I started learning that I want to get high, so I'm going to use anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use anything. Anything going to trigger me to get high because that's what I want to do. Now, I understand when you say I could hear a song and it might make me want to go out here and do something that I used to do. I can understand that too. But, my bottom line is that's what I want to go do that anyway.
So how do you fight what you want to do?
Huh?
How do you fight what you want to do?
Well, you know what? First of all, I surrendered to the things that I want to do. And I had to surrender to some things daily. Like I'm saying, something always going to trigger something off in my mind. Like I've been clean off of crack for like going on 13 years now. Don't mean at sometimes some thought to me when I go to somewhere in the streets, I have memories of what I did there. So that thought still come there sometimes. But when I think about that thought, you know what they used to say in recovery, play the tape all the way through. So so I just can't stop. Like when you said that emotion, I just can't stop there. I got to go somewhere else. I got to remember, and I got to know what keeps me there because I don't want to go back where I came from because I might not be able to come back again. So that's what helps me. So now in other areas of my life, I got to use them same tools in other areas in my life to stay away from other things. Like now, I just come from being incarcerated of selling drugs. I got to use, when I think about that, because it could pop in my mind. But you know what? The pain that I done went through, the pain that I done caused y'all, I got to look at that. And I got to honestly look at it. Because like I said, and when we talk about honest, because now I could deceive myself and I could tell myself and I could try to trick myself to get away. But all I need to do is get caught one more time and I'm done. So I but that mean like I don't have triggers to make me think about it. You know, they are excuses to make me think about. I just don't use them. I just don't use the triggers. To me, it isn't triggers because there's triggers in that too.
I think that's a good spot to end the tape. Man, I'm proud of you.
You proud?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, because I always been proud of you.
Man, just because, yeah, you, like you said, you don't know if you go back down there again, if you could come back, and you just think about how many people you see just in Philly right now battling addiction and where it can end up. So, I mean, I just feel very blessed right now. I'm proud of you because you were able to surrender it, still surrendering it daily. And I'm just blown away, man. Love you, Dad.
Thank you. I love you too, man.
Man, because now you can come see me give out buckets next week.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Shout out to Coach Dev, man. He let me come through the gym yesterday.
I wish you would let me know you were gonna be at the gym yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't know. It just kind of happened, and I'm a little sore now because of it. But yo, mechanics aren't bad. Still gotta pick some shots up though, so I can join the 50, 40, 90 club like Deladon.
So how often is the Coach Dev down? He go down almost every day?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call him up there.
Yeah. I got some of that Coach Dev apparel on right now too. Determined athletes, but Coach Dev is always determined to inspire. So yeah, let me know if y'all want some determined to inspire gear as well. I can get y'all that plug. And also, we still got NoStoppingKev apparel available. Still got some t-shirts and hats for y'all. So y'all know how to find me. DMs, comment section, email. Just make it happen if y'all want a little something. So we gotta get up out of here. Oh man, my laptop about to die. Man, we ain't plugged the charger in. That would have been. We just dodged a bullet. Bullet.
I gotta dodge the work.
Huh?
I gotta dodge the work.
Oh yeah, you're right. You gotta get up out of here. So yeah, we're gonna let y'all go. Remember, share this episode with some of your closest friends, family.
Or even your friends that's not so close.
Oh yeah, just send them that text, or just send somebody that you up text, and then send them the episode link. But yeah, y'all have a blessed week. We gotta get out of here. Peace.
Peace.